So the timing is good, so I thought I'd do a video about shed. So this is good. I don't know if all animals have this urge, but human beings definitely do. It's the urge to pick. And you're going to have to resist the urge to pick because you're going to see your dragons kind of turn into a checkerboard. Look at this guy. Look at Murray. Yeah, showing us the top of his head. He's definitely, he hasn't shed in about a year, and adult dragons, they don't shed as often as the younger ones do. And if you want to know how to help them, hey Murray, hey pretty boy, there's a few things you can do that aren't picking, because when you pick, you can do damage. But they shed in their nostrils. I think everyone has seen the videos of people that they recognize when that's ready, and they'll help a bearded dragon kind of pull that nostril shed out, and it's pretty long, and that one is kind of hard for them to get on their own, although they kind of can blow that out in between their toes and all of that those small areas, those do shed. And thank you for the reminder. Even the inside of their ear can shed. Now that's their eardrum, so you want to be careful. With a lot of experience, and I mean years, lots of reptiles, you can, those folks will go in there with, they'll try to help. In the bath, can water get in their ears? Sure. That's skin that is normally, I'm sorry, my hands are shaking. That's skin that can shed, and it can be helped with water. In nature, these guys are going to get rained on. They're going to run through puddles. They might deliberately soak in a puddle. And when we're keeping them, we're kind of recreating nature for them. They don't get rained on in their tanks. They get a bath when we decide, oh, they should have a bath. Maybe they ran through their poo or something. But in the wild, it might rain every now and then. It might be 1 or 2 times a week that they would get sprinkled on, and that would get in their ear. They're not going to sit and breathe in rainwater that hits their nostril or something like that, but they get water on the top of their head and everything else. So when they're in the bath, you can drip a little bit of water on the top of their head. You could use like a baby toothbrush or something like that, or just let them soak. You can tell if their back is needing to shed, and you can drop some, sprinkle some water on their back if they don't like to be submerged. Murray is very bothered by me with his tank door open. I guess he's getting cold. But another thing you can do, you can get some water and some Q-tips and sit next to their tank, and every few minutes, if there's a spot that's having trouble shedding, maybe every 2 minutes, 60 seconds, you can do a Q-tip and wet that area, and that part of the skin will get soaked, and it'll come off easier. It's kind of like a sunburn. You don't want to pull that off. That's not good. Don't do that. Even around their ear. My other dragon was shedding, and this was the first time I realized that even the inside of their ear will shed. It kind of popped out on its own. So the shed part was a few millimeters away from the actual eardrum once the shed was ready to come off. So it was really, really obvious. You don't need to go digging in there. The other thing is their tail. Now, if you look at Murray, see right there? There is this part of his tail. It's like it's thicker, and then there's a step down right there in scales, and then these scales have been discolored for a while, and the rest of his tail is just a little bit thinner. I have tried so hard to give him baths. He doesn't want to stay in there, but I'm going to try to get close. Now you see that? It's just normal scales, no big deal, but something I've been doing lately, and it's interesting because now he's shedding. I take this stuff, comes with a little cap, and Let me hold it up. There's a little cap, and I have a Q-tip here. It's kind of sitting on top of it, and every now and then I'll soak that Q-tip, and I'll go over here, and I'll just put some drops, so some drops sit on that. He looks around. He does not like that, so I feel like that's uncomfortable. He didn't lose any part of his tail, but something about that's uncomfortable. But one thing you can do during the shed time, feed them really well. I mean really well. Give their body those nutrients that it needs to grow the scales, the new scales, completely, so the shed can come off. That's why you don't want to pull it off prematurely. You don't want to go picking. Resist the urge to pick. Maybe that's going to be the title of this video. So feed them really well. And when I say really well, I'm talking about lots of vitamins. Repashy's Beardy Buffet. You get that in a little jar. It's a powder. You read the directions. You get the water boiling, and then you measure it kind of like teaspoons in a little bowl. Several teaspoons of water, and then it's like a 2-to-3 ratio with the powder. But it tells you on there. But if you get the water boiling in the microwave first, that's better. It will set up a lot faster and turn kind of into a gel. It's like a pudding, jello-y. It's firm. You can kind of cut it up into chewy bites and give those to the dragons. And that really, really helps. So I'm going to be giving Murray some of that tomorrow. It's already the end of the day now, so he can finish with his shedding. And I've also kind of used the Q-tip like a paintbrush to paint on some of the shed ease to the places that look like they're about to shed. Isn't that cute? He's got a little glove. I love it. And I've been painting it on his tail, the whole thing. The last time his tail shed, it was several layers, and you know, I'm gonna say that's not because of anything that I didn't do right. It's just sometimes their tail is just tricky. As many baths as I tried to give him, like every 4 days or something, I would try so hard to get the bath water right. So he would soak longer than 15 minutes, and he just doesn't like it. So I would spray his tail in the tank, and then you don't want to do that too much because the humidity is going to get too high. So you just do your best. Just do your best and feed them. I highly recommend the Repashy's Beardy Buffet. I'm going to find a link for that online and put that in the description so you know what I'm talking about. Maybe I've got some right here. Maybe I do. Maybe it's under here. It's this. I'm still going to put a link to it. So you've got the directions, you've got all the ingredients, lots of good stuff that they need, and that helps them so much. And there's Rose. Hey, Rose. She's not really shedding too much right now. But look at this guy. So resist the urge to pick. Feed them something really great with lots of good protein and vitamins in it. And just expect them to be grumpy during shed time. You know, and if you feel there is stuck shed, don't get the tweezers, get the Q-tip, get some water, or get some Shed Ease. There's several brands of that. They're all good. And that's it. So good luck. Murray says good night.